The evening was eerily quiet in the luxurious mansion that stood at the edge of the city, a house that looked majestic from the outside but carried within it the fragile silence of a family whose warmth rested on the delicate shoulders of a little girl and her gentle mother. Inside, the 8-year-old girl, her big innocent eyes shimmering with both curiosity and fear, clutched her favorite stuffed toy tightly as her mother prepared dinner in the kitchen, unaware that danger was slowly circling their lives, ready to strike like a shadow lurking behind the velvet curtains of comfort. And it was at this moment that the heavy wooden door creaked open with a sound that sent chills down the spine of the little girl, her heart pounding as two strange men stepped inside, their rough hands and grim faces illuminated by the faint golden glow of the chandelier, their eyes scanning the house not with admiration but with greed, hunger, and something darker. The girl whimpered softly and whispered, "Mama, who are they?" And her mother froze, her trembling hands tightening around the knife she was holding for dinner preparation, her voice breaking as she said, "Please, take whatever you want, but don't hurt my daughter." But the men exchanged sinister smiles, for they hadn't come only for money but also to send a message to the father, a man known in the business world not just as wealthy but as powerful, ruthless against his enemies, and envied by many. The little girl, overwhelmed by fear, burst into tears and pleaded, her voice trembling like a fragile string about to snap, "Please don't hurt us," her words echoing in the vast silence of the hall like a prayer too desperate to be ignored. But the men stepped closer, one of them grabbing the mother by the arm and pulling her away while the other reached toward the child, and in that instant, the atmosphere grew heavy, the ticking clock on the wall sounding louder than ever, until the sharp screech of tires outside and the powerful slam of a car door broke the tension, the mansion's gate opening to reveal the return of the man whose very name carried weight in every corner of the city, her father, the millionaire who had built empires from nothing and who now stepped out of his black luxury car, briefcase in hand, his face stern but tired from another day of battles in boardrooms. Yet the moment he crossed the threshold of his house, his sharp eyes caught the sight no father should ever witness, his little girl crying, her hands stretched in helplessness, his wife struggling against the grip of intruders, and in that second, something inside him snapped, his heart raging like a storm, his footsteps heavy, commanding, unstoppable as he dropped the briefcase and roared with a voice that shook the very walls, "Get away from my family." A moment that would mark the beginning of a night none of them would ever forget, because what was about to unfold was not just a confrontation of wealth versus desperation, but of love versus cruelty, a story of how far a father would go when the most precious part of his life was threatened. And as the men turned to face him, their sinister confidence faltering under the burning fire of his glare, the stage was set for a battle of wills, courage, and fate, and the little girl's sobs became the spark that ignited a storm of retribution and justice. And dear viewers, if you feel your heart pounding and want to know what happens next when the millionaire father takes on the men who dared to threaten his world, stay tuned for Chapter 2 because what comes will shock you even more. And before we continue, make sure to subscribe to this channel so you never miss stories that grip your soul, touch your heart, and keep you on the edge of your seat, because your support makes it possible to bring you tales like this that remind us of the power of family, love, and resilience.